This morning, I'm going to educate anyone that's willing to watch my video and listen, which is generally very few, because I tell people the truth about things. I've always been a hands-on person, and I don't have fear of teaching myself things. I'm age 67 now, a retired metals engineer for a subsea drilling company that is international hydro company. Okay, I've made two videos recently to where I've repainted the hood on a 2002 Ford F-150 Super Crew truck, and it came out excellently beautiful with acrylic enamel. Okay, and I've got a pending job as soon as the white paint gets here today, which is scheduled for UPS delivery today. Number 11, Arctic White, or it's got several names, Arctic White, Dove, but acrylic enamel number 11 white. That is even used in urethane enamels, which I dislike very much. And I'll explain shortly why I dislike those paints. But that goes back to like 1970, that particular color or whatever. And my white 89 Cadillac Brougham and my 98 Dodge Ram extended cab, they use that number 11 Arctic White. Okay. Alright, now, the only paint I will buy to repaint partial parts of a vehicle, like the hood or the trunk or the roof or the complete vehicle, is high gloss acrylic enamel. Actually, acrylic enamel in the 1970s and 80s wasn't listed as a high gloss. That's just something that was added to make you think that you're buying something that's new, that's space age. Acrylic enamel has always been a high gloss. It's just the type paint it is. It's actually a forever paint and can be resanded and reglazed, rebuffed, and stand up for 30 years. Pretty easy, if it's taken care of. As to where urethane, oh boy, the nightmare and the curses of urethane. I do not like urethane paints. Urethane paints, the use of them on some vehicles started in the 80s, almost all vehicles in the 90s, and it's even being used today. It was to save the automakers money. Because what urethane enamel is, it's actually just powder color. It's powder. And it can even have metal flakes in it. And it's got paint thinner in it when you buy like a can in it. That's why it appears like a liquid. The liquid is reducer. And it's just a powder is all it is. And but here, let's go down to the bare sheet metal or bare aluminum, which a lot of vehicles are made out of now. Okay, first off, when you use urethane, you cannot just sand down the old paint and paint urethane and gloss on top of that. No. Because urethane, everything under it bleeds through. No matter how thick you try to get it on, it bleeds through. So each and every time, you're going to have to use a primer when you paint with urethane enamel. And it's going to have to be best color matched to the paint. Like if it's red paint, you need a red primer. If it's white, you need a white primer, because of the bleed-through issues on urethane. All right. Now, after the primers, on the sheet metal or aluminum or possible plastic even, what you're doing, you're just spraying that powder coat of that color on there. It's a powder coat is all it is a powder coat. and you just spray enough of it on there till you can't see the primer running. Okay, after that, then you take clear gloss paint, clear that has no color, it's clear gloss paint, and a coat of that is sprayed on top of that. Now here's where the manufacturers save money that use this trashy shit, is what I call it. It's shit paint. And I'll explain many reasons why here, if you'll listen. Okay, first off, your total thickness of your paint is only going to be maybe 1.5 mils. A good paint job on a vehicle that will stand up and last needs to be 3 mils thick, at least 3 mils thick, even though I have seen some paints, high quality, 2 mils can be sufficient. It depends on the paint itself. And here's another curse. See, once that top half mil of clear gloss wears off the hood and trunks on cars made after 1990, okay, you have that powder color under it. You people know what I mean, because you see it in parking lots all the time, and you may own one of these vehicles where the hood, the trunk, and the roof of the vehicle get like that. Okay, and it won't be long after that, that will wear down to the primer that was under that. See, there's no way that can be wet sanded or rebuffed. It's gone. It's history. And the curse of it, it has to practically be sanded back down to the bare metal to ever repaint it with the same junk, urethane. And it's totally retarded, people. No one should use it. I mean, you know, if I buy a new vehicle or a good used vehicle, if it's got urethane with gloss coat on top, sure, I'm fine with it until there's a problem. It's like my 2000 Ford Super Crew Cab, which I'm going to provide the link for that I recorded approximately 9 days ago, to where after I sanded it, I repainted that hood with E4 Ford paint, cardinal red, acrylic enamel. And no primer was necessary because the old paint that was sanded down worked as a primer, because with acrylic enamel you don't have bleed through. So you don't have that problem. And you spray coat acrylic enamel on till you have between 2.5 to 3 mils of paint on there. You know, and if you don't have a mil tester, buy one. You know, it's got a magnet and a little metal tip. You turn the wheel on top until it clicks to the metal, and that's how many millimeters of paint is on that finish. Okay? But really, I'm experienced. I don't have to use a mil tester. I can tell how thick I'm getting paint by how much I apply. Okay, and it's fast to paint. It's easy to paint. I painted the hood on my Ford F-150 9 days ago. It only took me about 15 minutes. Once I had the surface ready, dry and everything, I sprayed it on there, and then with the activator in it, it was dry within 10 minutes, because that's what the activator for. The activator is also the hardener. And it's very shiny. Man, it's like a mirror, and I've got videos on it. You can see it for yourself. Okay, I did this in only 15 minutes, but it was the prep, me sanding it. I used the old paint as my primer, the red under it, and then I just spray painted the new acrylic enamel. I put it on there thick enough. It's shiny. It's shiny. And here's the thing about it. It's hard. It's very durable. If once that loses its shine, let's say in 5 years, or let's say in 10 years, all I'd have to do is wet sand it with 600 grit sandpaper, and then take a buffer wheel with glaze and run over it, and then put a coat of wax, and it's going to shine just like it does today. That's the beauty of acrylic enamel. And, it's, okay, I covered the curses of urethane. Urethane is cursed. It's been beneficial to manufacturers. It's beneficial to them. But it does not benefit the consumer or the owner of the vehicle. And you know what's sad? Rolls-Royce, now they don't use urethane, but let me tell you what they're doing nowadays. Those Rolls-Royce cars with those retarded Jaguar V16 and V12, okay, that junk is actually not a Rolls-Royce at all. It's just where Rolls-Royce sold their name, and a bunch of other abortionists put different engines and, tried to make them look same kind to what the Rolls-Royce was up to like the year 1992. Up to the year 1992, a Rolls-Royce was a Rolls-Royce, people, that had the original 380 V8 engine and the 415 V8 engine. Those are very, very good engines. I've worked on them. And I did own a 72 Rolls-Royce. Mine had the 380 overhead valve V8. Very, 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 very good car. Okay, but here's what they're doing. They put black primer on them, and they're using stretch vinyl on them, people. Stretch vinyl. Be careful you don't buy a vehicle with stretch vinyl. Stretch vinyl does not last. It does not hold up. A lot of people do it. They brag on it. It's not the way to go, people. It's not going to work. It will peel. It will flake off. It will screw up. Don't go with stretch vinyl. Use only a good quality paint like what I'm telling you about. And I will paste the two links to my other two videos. One that I completed where I painted the hood, and another one that's pending until my sandpaper and my white acrylic enamel get here tonight by UPS. And that acrylic enamel, see, it will last indefinitely. And it can handle that bright, bright, bright sun. My 89 Cadillac, it has the acrylic enamel that came from the factory. That came from the factory that way because they used a quality paint on that car in 1988. It was off the relay line and then sold in late 1988 when I purchased it, which it is a 89 model run. And that paint is 34 years old. And it is still perfect. And all the refineries I used to have to drive to, and that car would sit out in the bright sunlight, and those corrosives that are in the air at refineries, and for that to still be good after 34 years. Y'all can look in my videos, one where I'm recording my 97 Fat Boy Harley, and about a trip I took to Lufkin, Texas, about a month ago. And I had the garage door open. I showed that Cadillac. And that car is still running and driving, insured, registered. I still drive it occasionally, But, quality paint. If you've got urethane on a car and you want to repaint it, like my Ford truck came with the urethane paint. My 98 Dodge came with the urethane paint on it. But I didn't go back with that on the Ford, and I'm not going back with that on the 98 Dodge Ram. I'm going to go with acrylic enamel. Now let me tell you about your mixture. First off, quit listening to these bullshitters on the internet. I've seen a lot of their videos. It's nothing but damn bullshit where they list stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. That's a bunch of damn bullshit. There's only one way to paint a car the right way. It's yeah, anything is stages in life. You know what you have to do, but like what I did on the hood of my Ford truck, I had one container of activator hardener, a container of reducer, and a quart of acrylic enamel. Okay, I mixed that properly. Reducer, you need to match the temperature for the temperature you are painting in. You know, it tells this on reducers what temperature it's used to spray with. Okay, 30% reducer, 30% reducer. Alright, for every cup of acrylic enamel, use one capful to each cup of paint. And it won't dry on you until you finish painting, okay? But acrylic enamel is like acrylic lacquer. If you don't use a hardener, oh, it'll be beautiful, and it can stand up for 10 years, but it will wear down because it never completely dries if you don't put the hardener activator in. But one capful per cup, like capful, what I'm talking about, you know, you unscrew the top of a motor oil bowl, you know, the cap. Okay, that's what I mean by a capful, which is the equivalent to what, 1 tablespoon? Okay, you'd want per cup. Most paint guns hold a quart, which actually you don't want to ever start out spraying with 1 quart in a paint gun, and I'll tell you why. Because it will start getting too hard before you can use that full quart. Now the reducer helps some, but 30% reducer to your paint, you know, 30%. 30% to 100, you know, 70% paint, 30% reducer. But this is some education on some paints, and with acrylic enamel, you don't need any gloss. You don't need gloss, period, ever. It is glossy, period. It just is. But people only use acrylic enamel because this is the year 2023. No paint has been invented that is better than acrylic enamel. It hasn't happened yet. Okay? So that's the way to go. But I've told y'all how to prep for service, and if you're going to be ignorant and go back with urethane and keep messing with that, I told you what you're going to have to do to make that for what's supposed to be right. But anyway, signing off for now. I make videos to try to help people, and if they don't get views, they don't get views. But they're here to help. I'm doing God gifted me. God blessed me with knowledges, you know, things that I've learned over the years that I know that, you know, I can compare my work with other people's work. In any vehicle I ever painted, I always got applause in the huge hydro parking lots. It's like, wow! When I'd bring a car back on a Monday morning, you know, because I used to do it for a hobby, and it was just, everybody's like, damn! Anyway, hope you're all having a great day, a great evening, or whatever else. Later, later.